inside of my head where I'm looking at a bunch of different kills from a bunch of different franchises. Last week I did Pacific Rim. This week I'm doing the Monsterverse. And yes, I know Goji Center did 6 most brutal kills. And it's fine. I'm fine with it. They beat me to it. I'm fine with that. And there have been some doozies in the Monsterverse so far, haven't there? We've gotten to see what Ghidorah's gravity beams can do to some poor, squishy humans.
Oh, shit.
As it absolutely reduced them to atoms. In that scene in the Arctic, we got to see Godzilla swat a male Muto like a fly with that immense tail of his, and we got to see Mothra launch herself at Ghidorah to sacrifice and kill herself. But to me, none of those were as good as number 5, Godzilla vs. Ghidorah, Nuclear Pulse. And yes, I've put this all the way down in 5th place. The cataclysmic climax of King of the Monsters that saw Godzilla, fresh after Mothra's self-sacrifice to activate his burning Godzilla powers and send his power levels through the roof. After Emma Russell's sacrifice to draw Ghidorah away, she utters the final words, "I wish I'd gotten more piercings." Long
live the king.
In stomps our guy, skin pulsating red, and you know how it goes. The main thing I love about this kill is that homage to Mothra when he blasts out the nuclear pulses. You distinctly hear her shriek as blast waves pulsate out, and you can quite clearly see, especially if you watch it at half speed, the silhouette of everyone's favorite moth in the shockwave. And what a blast of energy it is. The first one is enough to shred Ghidorah's wings to dust. I think he sort of holds them up to defend against the blast, but fucking hell, he had no idea what was coming because it atomizes the thin skin membrane, then blasts away the bone. And this is followed by the second blast that must be even stronger because it vaporizes 2 of Ghidorah's heads into bloody chunks that just get carried away on the wind. Pwah! Anyone who's seen Godzilla 2000 will know that this attack is the one that Godzilla uses to kill Orga, as Orga is trying to eat and clone him. And I really loved Orga, man. I really got to rewatch that movie. Then we have the chest stomp, which, unless I'm very much mistaken, crunches his rib cage, and that starts releasing all this electricity, which culminates in this atomic blast that can be seen from Alpha fucking Centauri. Then, of course, we have the cherry on the icing, the King of the Monsters kind of equivalent of the Kiss of Death. And the deed is done. I still don't know how this head survived. I know that Ghidorah can regen, but we definitely see 3 heads get utterly vaporized. Anyway, it's on the list for all those reasons. Plus, I love how once Godzilla becomes Burning Godzilla, I love how Ghidorah's gravity beams that once had been so devastating become like a tickle from the Tooth Fairy. And look at this guy, less fucks given than this fish in a chicken suit smoking a cigarette. Number 4, Kong kills the white tiger. Have you guys heard me rant about the white tiger before? It's been known to happen. Some people might call it like an irrational hatred that I have for this thing, but you know, at least my shrink would. But there's just something about this thing and about how people revere the thing that just makes it the most pretentious wanker of the animal kingdom. But rather than get myself in a tizzy about it all over again, because I'm taking meds for that now. Let me just say that for many reasons that I've outlined before, I found this one most satisfactory. Number 3, Godzilla rips the spine out of a hollow earth piranha. So if you haven't checked my Godzilla Dominion review, I'll link to it below or above. I don't know, click around, it'll be around somewhere. But go check that out because I go into that more there. But for now, suffice to say that our big guy happens upon a fissure between Hollow Earth and the surface world, and a whole horde of these giant piranha-looking things come streaming through. Thing is, they're not just piranhas though. They are a hive mind-linked underwater hornet's nest of pain! And when the Big Daddy shows up, the head honcho, well, Godzilla teaches it some manners by ripping out its skull and backbone and oh my god, have mercy, big guy, have mercy! Is there no end to the horror this man will inflict on any Hollow Earth creature that puts a tippy toe out of line? Absolutely savage. Number 2, Kong kills the big one. Kong has some pretty cool kills, actually. I nearly put his dispatching of the Warbat on here, and it definitely deserves at least an honorable mention. As you know, the flying fucking cobra flies at him, he swings one around, yada yada yada, bit of suffocation, blah blah blah, and it ends with Kong ripping its head off and having a nice little nibble on the insides. Nice. I love this moment. A beautiful reminder that no matter how smart the puppy is, how adorable those deep dark eyes are, it'll still lick your face after eating its own shit. And yes, my dog did that to me. And for anyone who follows the channel, yep, Charlie Beagle is fine. She had a little operation, but she's back to her old self and destroying everything in sight. But no, the Warback kill is an honorable mention, but the actual kill on my list is Kong's brutal ending of the battle with the big one. The alpha of the Skullcrawlers was never going to be easy for our giant furry protector, but it's on the list because of Kong's use of the chains, that he flails around like he's been practicing, because of how he slices it open with a propeller, and of course, how can you forget how he rips out its tongue, throat, stomach, and a bunch of other disgusting internal organs too. Gross and gloriously so. Other honorable mentions go to Godzilla's kiss of death that put an end to the female Muto, but I just felt that enough had been said about that one. His tail takedown of the male Muto, of course, but I've spoken about that one before. But the one that I put in the top spot is the writers of Pacific Rim Uprising for killing off any chance of us getting a third Pacific Rim movie. I'm joking. It's Mechagodzilla's unnecessarily violent butchering of the Skullcrawler. Just to test out Mechagodzilla's operational functionality or whatever, the Apex guys bring this armored titan online in the most epic intro ever. You get loads of close-up detail shots of the different parts of his body moving into place. I especially like the spinal fins, like the middle dorsal fins raising up sequentially and clicking into place. Like, I don't exactly know why, but I like to think it's to adopt to a combat stance, like kind of how like people brace their muscles before taking an impact. But they did a great job of showing the big guy off here, and it's all rounded off with Simmons ordering the release of number 10. And when the door opens, it's a hulking great Skullcrawler. Now, I haven't done any research on this guy, but it's definitely another variant to the ones we've seen on Skull Island, with some red tones on the body and maybe even some yellow if I recall correctly. And I wasn't a fan of the Scooby Gang here's role throughout most of GVK, but for this scene I was glad that they were there. Their presence definitely gave us a comparison and a better idea of how big Mechagodzilla is, and how fearsome the Skullcrawler is. When the door first hinges ajar, it's like snapping like crazy, probably because it can smell those juicy squishy humies. But Mecha G is just like yoink, scoops it up and holds it spread eagle, and let me hit pause right there because I still do find it hard to judge how big this Skullcrawler is. Like, is it as big as the big one? Is it even a little bigger? But regardless, the thing clearly ain't too bright because it's so preoccupied with chasing 11 over here that it fails to notice Mecha G standing right there. But regardless, the best is yet to come in this scene, especially if you like your steaks bloody, if you know what I mean, because Mecha G powers up his mouth laser and slowly cuts the lizard from head to tail, spilling its guts and organs and tripes. And yes, I said tripes. And goddamn, I feel sorry for the evil snaky bastard because no one deserves to go out that way. Anyway, that was my favorite monster death from the Monsterverse so far. Make sure you let me know yours in the comments below, and if you're up for another one of these vids, I've got top Jurassic kills in the pipeline, as well as top Transformers kills, Bayformers edition, coming up real soon. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on that. And so until then, I need to take my meds, so let me invite you to get out of my head, and I will see you very soon for the next one. Thank you very much for watching, and cheerio, bye!